What's happening? I'm doing another live stream. Marvellous. And guess who's back? That's right, the bubbles. The bubbles are back. I don't know what's going on. Some days it lets me choose the bubbles, some days it does not. Today it let me, so that was nice. So we will enjoy bubbles. Excuse me, whilst I cough. I'm happy to announce that Aries de Venustas emailed me back, and I have samples of each of their fragrances on the way. I also asked the man if he has any old bottles of Iris Nazarena knocking about. I imagine he's going to say no. But they did help me acquire their new fragrances. Well, not the new fragrances, but yes, the new fragrances, the new presentation. I've got a sample set coming. They sell their samples individually, according to him. And so I have bought them individually. I got 10 of them plus shipping, which is nice. So here we are. I also checked, and I have a package coming from Poland, and it has arrived in this country today. So there'll be an unboxing afoot. An unboxing afoot. I won't be unboxing a foot, but there'll be an unboxing afoot, you know? Excuse me whilst I hydrate once again. Oh no. I need to turn on the stream. I need to see what the chat is saying. Welcome, chat. Welcome, Dusan. Welcome, Carl. Still no word from this package, mate. I did ask the neighbours, and they said they got nothing. So unless I go door to door, and I don't really live near many people, to be perfectly honest with you. So there is one other neighbour though that I don't really talk to because they're raging alcoholics, and nobody goes there, you know. So, but I don't think they'd have got them. They would have just put it through my letterbox, you know, to be fair to them. Thank you for shopping. There's your bill. So I got a sample. Oh my God, they're only fucking 0.7 and they're $5 each. Good Lord. I thought there were 2 mil samples. The rascals. I'm not going to lie to you. That is not the world's most impressive patter. But I will be sampling them. Apparently the formula is the same. So, not to worry. Thanks, Richard. Got the order, tracking number to follow. No old bottles left for years, but no worries. Formula is the same. Ah, happy days. Well, if that's what you say, I believe you. Cheers, man. I appreciate your help because I was absolutely useless there. Your help. Looking forward to smelling them all. You can expect. If I wanted a bottle, could I reach out and get one? Same way into America. Regards, Richard. Because the shipping's like twice the fucking price. Do you know what I mean? Fougere Noir, Sultan Pasha Ratars. Yeah, they're fucking fantastic. Sorry, I'm having a conversation with two different fucking sets of people. I do apologise. I've got like 19 people in one chat box. I've got fucking 3 in the other. And I've dropped a bollock. Right. Right. So here we go. Hello, Adzadzi. Hello, Dushan. How do I feel? I am feel. As Alexander Usyk would say, I am feel. Like a cat on a wheel. Adzadzi, welcome to you. Anuj. Carl. Person of the night, Sultan Pasha. Yes, it was a good interview. Spaced Out says, Papillon Salome is really intimidating. I don't think I can wear that one. If it doesn't suit you, don't wear it, mate. If you don't like it, don't wear it. Oh, that's me. I was going to say, who's saying buy me a coffee? It's me. Fuck. Scent of the Night, Amouage Epic Woman 56. Heavens. Well, this is great. Ladies de Venustas seem very nice people. I am Phil. Yes, that's right. You are Phil. Sent, signed for, and had a signature, says Carl. Ooh. We'll make a complaint, pal, and see what that does. That's cool. Hope it wasn't worth like loads of money, Carl. I've got some of my own sample vials today, so I'll send you some. I will decant. If you want to let me know via email anything that has tickled your fancy or anything like that, I will send you it, and we'll see what you think. Dusan says, this is so good. What, Amouage Epic Woman on the stream? I am Phil, says Phil. You are Phil, that's right. James Crowder is wearing By Man. Evening, Joe. I'm going to send you some samples tomorrow as well. Cuckoo, Duck and all, says Pradeep. Cuckoo, Pradeep. I am Duck. Joe is wearing MX. I actually, the first time I smelled it, I preferred MX to MXXX. Alan says, good grief, it's you lot. It is us lot. What are you doing here? Hello, Bri. Yes, the bubbles are back today. I'm going to wait and see if Stick Schlonghammer turns up, because I watched those videos like I said I was going to last night, and wow. I have got shit to say. But nothing bad. Hello, Bri. Hello, Joe. Hello, Bri again. Looking forward to blind buying Bell Arm. That is not easy to say. Hello, Kelly Lyons. Welcome. Hello, Alan Hansen. Hello, Joe again. Oh, the ghosties are back. Yes. Yes, we're being haunted tonight. The mouth of hell has opened up out the back window. Eugene's wearing a couple of Sultan Pasha's fucking guitars, like, and they are. I've got Fougere Noir, and it's pretty great. Like, it's salty. I get a saltiness from it. Oh. Scent of the day is Black Tie by Celine. Best vanilla I know, says Bright. Have you ever tried Tejota by Indult? That's meant to be an absolutely outrageous vanilla. A vanilla the like of which is rarely seen. Let's dream it up and talk about Dior being better than Chanel Rich and get hate from everyone. I prefer Dior to Chanel, I must admit. I've got a lot of Dior fragrances. I just think that the way Dior are going about their shit is shit. Whereas I think the way Chanel are going about their shit is better. You know? But there we are. Alan is wearing Oud Immortel by Byredo. My scent of the day is Calvin by Calvin Klein. I got a compliment, but off someone I know who always comments on my fragrance. But she was loving it. She was absolutely loving it. She swear by it. She was like, "This is great." And I was like, yes, it is. That was another 1981 special as well. You had Koros, Calvin by Calvin, and Teus. I'm sure fucking Santos came out in 1981 as well. What a fucking year that is for fragrance, by the way. Alan is wearing Oud Immortel by Byredo. Pradeep is wearing Fleur Cachée. No, Pradeep says Fleur Cachée is a twisted vanilla. Kelly Lyons says, "Oh Lord, I sprayed some of my sample Beaufort sample set Fathom 5 on the left. Oh dear, scrub as they are, 3 scrubs and I still can't get them off." No, you're going to need to you're going to have to have a skin graft or something like that. Sorry. What you want to be doing, right, is getting, I think it's olive oil. It's baby oil. It's baby oil. Get some baby oil, put it on and leave it and then wash it off with soap after about 20, well, not even 20 minutes, fucking 5-10 minutes. That takes it off. Or get some alcohol wipes. Joe says, out of curiosity, has anyone tried Zoologist Sacred Scarab? Yes. Does it remind you of number 5? Bryce says, absolutely agree. Yes, about Dior. Take a compliment wherever you can, says Joe. Yes. Spaced Out says, Bois d'Argent and Oud Espagne could be my signatures for life. That's my comfort zone and some Chanel exclusives. I don't care for Oud Espagne. I think that Oud Palau by Diptyque is probably the best Western Oud. And it hasn't got real Oud in it at all. Unless it's one of those jobs where they've put a drop in and they'll sue you if you say it hasn't. Ooh. I'll tell you what, I haven't taken my vitamins today. I'll do that right now. You know what day it is? It's Wednesday, that's right. But, more importantly, that means it's Thursday tomorrow, and I take poison on a Thursday, and I still haven't made my mind up whether I'm going to take it tomorrow or not. I've got a little bit of a sore throat. I might just leave it out tomorrow. You know? I've made a purchase today, not a perfume one. Excuse me. So. The next privé Francis does, like original creation, will tell us definitive way Dior is going, says Bry. Yes, we will get to find out by his first, by his first release, which way they're going. James says Calvin is great. I don't see it as a powerhouse like some people do, though. I wouldn't say it was a powerhouse, no. I wouldn't say it's a powerhouse the way Vintage Antaeus is a powerhouse, the way Koros is a powerhouse, the way a lot of 80s fragrances are. It's good lasting power, good projection for the first couple of hours, very musky. I wouldn't call it a powerhouse per se. Good though. Very good. It's fucking freezing. It's fucking freezing. This whole week I'm only wearing water zeal until I empty my decants is spaced out. I'll go MacGyver oils I have in my house. Says Kelly, thanks for the tip. Baby oil. That's what you want. Baby oil. Leave it and then get it off with soap. Soap, warm soapy water. I received a vintage Estee Lauder Youth Dew. Buy it. It's powerful stuff. Jealous. That shit will be fire. Bryce says exclusive start smelling samey after the 4th one. Yeah, I used to have 3 of them. Now I've got 1. I've got Coromandel. And to be honest, I rarely wear that if I'm like, if I'm being frank. DJ, how are you? Excuse me whilst I yawn in your ears gently. Grey flannel is a powerhouse potion, says Phil. Well, the vintage one certainly was. I got a 20ml of the first Eau Noir cologne on the way. Hope it's better, says Pradeep. It's magnificent, the cologne. Jonathan's got a bottle of it and I'm well jealous. Frank, outrageous. James Crowder says, I got another bottle of very old Antaeus and it is a paper label yet again. Story behind it is that the guy bought it in 1982 in the US from a mall, so that messes up the Russian market theory. Russian markets in 1982? Don't think so. Rabbit says the Antaeus is quite dirty at the start, full of castoreum, and the overall feel is very strong. It is extremely strong, the old stuff. Really strong. Bryce says Coromandel is really good, but I'd prefer Patchouli Imperial for that theme. I love Patchouli Imperial. It's fucking awesome. Joe says, to clarify, the Youth Dew bottle isn't the very original and annoying Estee Lauder seem to reuse their batch codes every 10 years, so I'm not sure how old it is. So if it's got a batch code on, it's probably no older than, 30, 40 years. Frank says, I'm wearing Tabarome to work today. Surprised to hear that it's similar to Uncut Gem. Any truth to that? Both you dislike, I know. Now you mention it, it's not a bad shout, that. That is not a bad shout. Tabarome being similar to Uncut Gem. There are similarities there. I don't think they're the same. I don't think they're copies or they're meant to be, overlapping or anything. But there's definitely a passing resemblance there. Jesus Christ. The more I think about it, the more similar it is. I fucking hate Uncut Gem. My God. That is just a bad, bad perfume. Hello, Michael John. That seems right, says Joe. Yeah. Frank says, I haven't tried Uncut Gem, the mall zealot I am. It'll fuck the brand for you if you're not careful. It will hurt the brand. It hurt them for me. I really struggled with it. I was wounded by it. James says, I think my nose has a block to some part of Antaeus because it isn't as strong to me as it is to everyone else. I need to be careful with the sprayer. What age? Oh, you're a very old one. Joe says you'll be scarred for life, which I am scarred. Frank says, you also dislike Tabarome. I do. I dislike both of them. I got it for cheap. I sold my bottle. The guy on eBay was like, thank you for not being a fucking rip-off. I was like, no problem. I was like, to be honest, I just want my money back, really. With most of the fragrances that I want to sell, really, I just want my money back. I don't really want to make anything. And he was like, everything's perfect about it. I love it. Thank you very much. James says, early 80s for both. It should be stronger. I mean, the vintage Antaeus I've got, Antaei, when it's plural, is that the Antaeus or just Antaei? The vintage one I've got's absolutely fucking nuclear, like. It also distantly reminds me of Gucci Envy's ginger. I'm not massive on ginger. I like the fizziness it can give a fragrance. It gives this kind of effervescence. Bryce says, the only 5 exclusives I'd say are a must for me, at least, is Boiler Leon, Bel Respiro, Chiararusi, and 31 Rue Cambon. I would say Chiararusi, Sycamore. Coromandel, maybe. American Pie is here, fizzy and jizzy. Frank says, yes, my older Antaeus has to have real castoreum. It's outrageous. Pradeep says, Antiti. Antiti. I don't think that's the plural of Antaeus. Could be. Antaei. Are you all excited for Eugene's release tomorrow? You're going to be able to order it soon. It's already available at the Butte. The Butte. I forget what it's called. De La Butte. Boutique de la Butte. American Pie says, thinking about snagging a bottle of Missia EDT, but the person wants way too much for it. Going to offer them half the price since it's half a bottle. Just tell them to stop taking the piss. Right, give us 2 minutes. I'm going to go to the bathroom. If Sticks turns up, tell him to stay. I want to tell him what I thought of those videos he told us to watch yesterday. Oh, excuse me whilst I hydrate. Literally, Sebastian has just released a video saying Dior Homme Parfum is my favourite fragrance. Where to buy it? Is it really? I don't think it's that great. I sold mine. My 75ml bottle. Not ideal in my opinion. I did not have to take a shit, no. I was simply blowing my nose. I'm the type of person who like reads and shit when I'm... If I have to like sit for a while, do you know what I mean? I'd have been a lot longer than that. I don't think I've ever shat on stream. I've been sick on stream. That was dispiriting. It was weird. And people were like, oh, leave it up, leave it up. I was like, no, that's weird. Don't be sick. Oh. Sorry, I'm just putting my candle out. It's giving us a headache. It's too late at night. Too much too late for a candle. Oh. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. That was nice. Hello, Professor Melvin. Metro Parfumi Elegantia has 20% off for Black Friday, says Pradeep. James says, I will be buying Bellarme. Hope I like it. Some of the note combinations could go either way for me, depending on how they're used. I will keep it regardless in support of Eugene. Nice. I hope Bellarme sells well. I think when people start smelling it, it will garner the attention that it deserves. Fosco, welcome. I actually got in touch with Elis de Venustas have got and emailed me and sent me an invoice for all the samples, and they're going to ship it from their German warehouse. So that's nice. Uncut Gem should say Estee Lauder and not Maurice Roussel on the label if it's such a focus group frag, says Frank. Hey, it's not a bad call. Focus group decisions are not always the best ones, no, but they are the most popular, which are not always the best decisions. Kelly Lyons says, I bought Sycamore and Cuir de Russie Parfum after listening to Jacob. He didn't steer me wrong. I was a little wary because he's a Chanel-ophile when it comes to perfume, but he done good there. He's got good taste, says Chanel. Says Kelly. Did Rich have to take a shit as well? He did not. Hello, Fosco, mate. Tried the whole Maison Crivelli line, not impressed at all, says Bry. Patchouli Magnetic, love it. The rest of them, shite. Iris Malacan can fuck itself massively. Dior Homme Parfum is really nice. Just wish it replaced all its sweetness with leather. Not for me. I think the leather's like, it's like a big bash. It's like one note and it just comes along. It's like bonk right on your head. It just doesn't suit the fragrance the way it's done. Oh no, Rich, that's not good for anyone. Life happens, man, says Phil. Oh, I got you. We all need a midstream release. Hi, John. The way Jacob describes frags, yeah, it's really good. I wonder what perfume people in the focus groups were on the regular. I just think that these people weren't necessarily that into perfume, but that's probably the idea, you know? Where are we? Sorry, friends. I'm distracted tonight. Got a bit of a headache. Feel a little bit tired. Good evening, Klein on a Zog. How are you? John says, Scent of the Day, Oud Maximus. I really need to start wearing those. I've got Oud Monarch and Oud Maximus, and I need to start wearing them. Product says, I can see a newbie smelling Dior on Parfum and worshipping it. It's surprising for someone like Sebastian. Sebastian has a massive amount of fragrances and could have picked any of them as his favourite. But he's picked his favourite. And there's no accounting for taste, or maybe he's had a particularly good experience whilst wearing it. And it just makes him feel great when he does, you know? Maybe he's just hit the spot. Some people swear that Acqua di Gio is the best perfume ever made. You know? Kevin, I think, does. He loves it. And you can't argue with that. Like, if he thinks it is and he says it is, then it's not an attack on anyone else. I'm not saying that you're saying that. What I'm saying is that you can't account for taste. Frank says, Lodomiel mentioned polling people outside of nightclubs. That was how Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce was picked, for example. That's outrageous. Phil Stevens says, well, it would have to be non-offensive to wear in the workplace, wouldn't it? And then DJ says, imagine if Oud Infinite was half the price. I would actually think it was worth buying. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's discontinued. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but no, I don't want it. You know? Klein says, Scent of the Night Tuscan Leather got it integrate together with Himalaya and Green Irish Tweed. 3 classics. Polling drunk people seems such a good idea, says Joe. Bryce says it's shit. Frank, Sebastian has been consistent with his faves. DHP's been up there. I love the Parfum. Real strong. Got a spray light, yeah. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I prefer the original. I prefer the Intense. Martin Pye says, Sebastian has weird taste. Kind of depends on who's paying most for a video that day. Ooh. Antonio. Hello, Rich. Hello, Antonio. Scent of the Day, Chanel No. 5 EDT in an 80s bottle. DJ says, to be honest, should be called Civet Infini. The Civet is way more the main player alongside the Row. Do you mean Oud? DHP ruins the whole concept of the perfume as an abomination, in my opinion. I really don't like it. It's just a big fuck-off singular leather note bolted to half of Dior Homme. You know? It's Demashiedy's worst, in my opinion. He just turns the leather right up to 11 and then literally cuts Dior Homme in half, so it's the same perfume, just half as much of it, and that's why it's so strong. It's got this massive fucking leather note about it. Frank says, to be fair, Mall, Portrait of a Lady, Dior on Parfum, and Tower Led Desert Malacan. Many of his favourites come from brands that do not give free bottles to YouTubers. No. No, you're right. Girl on Iris Terefi is an improved Dioram Intense, says Pradeep. Ooh. I'm not sure. I love Dioram Intense. Oh, I don't know. Not sure how long I'll be on tonight. I'm feeling a bit tired. I don't know why. Pradeep says, I really doubt Dior even uses real iris anymore. That's interesting. I mean, Dioram Original's not... It's not what it was. I mean, if you smell... I mean, I could... with Dior Homme throughout the ages where I do the original Dior Homme, then the Dioram 2011, and then Dioram Original from 2021, 2020. See how it's changed over the years. John Smith says, I think Sebastian is legit. His passion is real, and I think his favourite is mostly tied to nostalgia. I think he's alright. I think Sebastian's sound. Pi says, I could only imagine where Dior would be if Olivia Polge was the perfumer. Yes, what a strange dynamic that would have been. Olivia Polge versus Jack Polge, but I think Olivia Polge was always going to be the Chanel perfumer, wasn't he? I would have liked to have seen Christopher Sheldrake taking over from Jack Polge, but he's more of the master of ingredients now, isn't he? Good evening, Wesley Garlick. Good morning to you, Rich, and all the frag hags out there. Is there any great Black Friday deals on your radar? Not for me personally, no. I expect a parcel shall arrive on my door on Friday from Poland, which will be nice. But it won't be a Black Friday deal. It'll just be a Friday arrival, you know. Frank says, Valentino Uomo line got nice Dior Homme switch-ups made by Polge himself. Did he work on the flankers? I didn't know that. I knew he did the original. I didn't know he worked on the flankers. Joe says, I was just thinking the same, Rich. I wish you all a very good night day. Good night, Joe. Mark Pye says, did your Ron ever use real iris in it? Yeah. Yeah. I think Dior wanted to go at the mass market. Polge might maybe not have fit. I think when you consider that Francois Demachy got the job and then his body of work while he was there, it shows what they wanted and what they got. Oh, excuse me. John Smith says, is your Poland guy named Paul? He is one of my Poland friends. I have another Polish friend, Natalia. Currently readjusting my perfume purchase list, says Professor Melvin. Had to bump up the next Les Obstre release. So many choices. That's it, you see. We never run out of choices. DJ says, people forget Sebastian's entire business is, if I remember correctly, some fragrance experience thing which he does, which is why a few of his bottles have big dents in them. I thought he just sold decants. Pradeep says, I see at least 10 DHI for sale every day online. It's a top 2 seller in France, unlike the USA. At that level of mass production, I really don't think it has any iris in. Whether it does now or whether it did in the past, I think it did. Whether it does now or not, I don't know. Sebastian does consultation work for rich snobs who pay him generously by the hour. I didn't know that. Hello, Adam D. You can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you get what you need, says American Pie. Lol, says John, he's my only Poland connection. He's a good lad, Paul. I've used Paul quite a few times. It's true. I didn't know that was his main job, but I knew he did that. I thought he sold decants as well from his bottles, which is why he's always got large holes in his fucking... Which is why he's always got large holes in his fucking perfume bottles. Massive dents, you know. And he's got thousands of perfumes. I remember once asking him if it was insured, and he was like, yep, absolutely. I thought, I'm not fucking surprised. But I don't know. I just good luck to him, but I don't know if I would do a what do you call it, a perfume consultation service. I'm not sure if you could still get the fucking perfumes that I would tell people to buy. You know, could I stand behind some of the perfumes that are released these days? Probably not. Sebastian probably fucking prides himself on what he can like offer to people that they wouldn't usually come across, you know. The problem with vintage is there's very limited supply, much more limited than niche or indie. You know, it's difficult. So I'd be surprised if he was telling people to buy this, that, or the other. I wonder if he sells them the fragrance too, or he just tells them what to buy. You know? Here's your consultation. Here's what you should smell. I don't think he's one of the bad guys. In fact, I'm pretty certain he's not one of the bad guys, to be honest. I wonder what the average French guy and French woman wear. I can't imagine they have as bad taste as we Americans do, says American Pie. Apparently, I mean, a few years ago, the most popular fragrance, men's fragrance in France was L'Homme by YSL. Just the original L'Homme. Not La Nuit de L'Homme. Not Blue Electric. Sorry. DJ says it's Bois d'Argent, and I can believe that as well. There are songs written about Bois d'Argent. Met him through eBay. He is trustworthy and friendly, says John. I got an email off him saying, are you Rich Mitch? Do you have a YouTube channel? I was like, oh God, yeah, why? And he was like, somebody came to my eBay store and they were like, oh, I heard about you through Rich Mitch. He was like, mate, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I really thank you very much. I was like, oh, no problem. I was like, if you look after people, if you're good to people, and you give people good service, word gets around. Word of mouth's the best way to find out about shit. He does that too as well. What does he do as well? Oh, that too. Right, I've got you. He's definitely well off, says Proddy. 2 Europe trips per year. One of his clients' top picks is Naxos. Well, they've got fucking bad noses. Just goes to show you cannot buy taste. It's as simple as that. You cannot buy taste. You can have as much money as you fucking want, but if you don't know your fucking arse from your elbow, you're fucking useless. And you'd be surprised how many fucking clever people have no common sense. Common sense and book smarts are two completely different fucking things. Sorry, friends, those tablets would not go down. Oh. I might just go an hour and a half tonight. Oh. Bois d'Argent is the Aventus of Paris. Yes. I've heard similar. Okay, then tell us who is a bad guy, says Klein. I will not be slandering people on the channel, but I am sure if you listen to my channel enough, you will be able to figure out who are the bad guys and who are the good guys. Queer Beluga is extremely popular, says Pradeep. Bob will like that news. Frank says, last time I was in France, 2019 winter, I smelled a lot of Invictus DNA everywhere, including 1 million lucky. Could be young tourists. Could be. And there's a reason these perfumes are best sellers, because most people buy them. They're pleasing, they're easy, they're boring, they're this, they're that, they're the other. Meh. Yep, Queer Beluga is popular in France according to a friend. That would be interesting. You know how Sebastian does those videos about like the best-selling fragrances according to like Sephora or whichever other malls you want to shop at and stuff like that, or according to Fragrantica or Amazon or anything like that. It'd be interesting if we got in touch with the friend, like different companies in different countries, to find out what was the best selling. Excuse me. Frags are probably the most subjective thing on the planet. One of them. Amen. You cannot buy taste and style, says Melvin. Client says, thanks, I'm fine, really, Bob. Pi says, the difference between my ass and elbow are surprisingly slim. Can someone leave a bottle of Pure Havana lying next to the Naxos? Says Adam. You'd be able to tell by the bottle. You'd have to just spray the fragrance, one on each stick, and ask them to choose which one they liked the most. You know? It's, excuse me. It is the law of diminishing returns. Naxos is not, what, 6 times better than Pure Havana? It's not 6 times better, but it's 6 times the price at retail. You know? Street smart and the school of hard knocks, says Phil. Good evening. Good evening, Manly Sense. I heard how popular tobacs are diabetically sweet when stuff like Atman, Zaman, Tabak Taboo are ignored. I will be coming to Tobacco Taboo soon. I might do that video tomorrow, actually. Worst frag channel, School of Sentences, John Smith. Yeah, he's up there. Well, down there, if you want to say. He's really very bad. Caillou, welcome. Turtle. Naxos, Pure Havan. Bullshit. I don't really care for Pure Havan, to be honest with you. It's all right. I say it's all right. I don't really care for it. Phil Stevens says the Duck has a mark. He sent Rudy to Miami. Klein says absolutely, John. It's very poor. There are a lot of like fragrance channels out there which are really like people who have no interest in fragrances. Really, they just see it as a quick way to get a base of followers, which they can then exploit, and it gives them validity in a space that they can then exploit to push off into other things. Splinter 47, hello. Have you tried Noir de Peace from Frederick Mall? Yes, and it's very good. It is one of, if not the most underrated Frederick Mall there is. Caillou says, hey, Rich, I'm sending some extra rasa to you so you can forward something to Peter so he can try the 2022 version. I will do. You just take your time, mate. Don't worry. Look after your back. I know what that shit's like. Jesus. But if you tell me what you want us to send on to Peter, I will do exactly that. No, you don't have to worry about being slow. I know you've got a bad back, and I know what bad backs are like. If anybody knows what it's like, don't push yourself and injure yourself, for fuck's sake. Because it's one of those things, it's like a bad back. Healing a bad back is like trust. It takes a lifetime to build it up and a second to destroy it. Do you know what I mean? You can easily fuck your back in seconds, and it can take a lifetime to fucking fix it. Pradeep says, Amen line itself is shite, in my opinion. People just don't want to admit it. Ooh, I don't know about that, Pradeep. I like my amens. You know? I can understand why some people don't like it. Klein on a Zog says, my favorite fragrance YouTuber is from Hawaii. Can you guess? I don't know. Is it some kind of surfer? I know I'm very slow. No, take your time. Seriously. Noir de Peace is a wonderful spicy sheep breast, says some pie. Or at least the matte cap is. I saw your video where you had a matte cap version of something from Mall, and I was like, ooh, jealous. Yes, that is so true from me experience. Yeah. It is, honestly. Just don't do anything that might put that at risk. Slowly but surely. Just keep going. Don't stop moving forward. Don't stop moving, but don't try and do anything too quickly, because that will fuck you up in a fucking split second. Backs are so finicky. They're so there's no understanding them, you know. There's a reason why they discontinued it. It was a commercial failure. What was? Good day, Rich. Cheers, friends, says Jonathan. Welcome, John. I watched John's video the other day. John says, John Smith, sorry, not Jonathan. Naxos is too sweet. What the hell, says Frank. And John Smith says, yep, damaged L4, L5 years ago, deadlifting. Still not the same. Disc is permanently damaged now. I always have to be careful when picking things up. It sucks. Yep. Once the damage is done with your back, it's there. It's like a grieving process as well, because up to that point in your life, you've never had any trouble with your back, and then you have trouble with your back, and it never goes away. So you've got to like grieve for your back. That was normal before you fucked it. It's a shame, but that's life. Rich, have you tried Bellarm? Yes, I have a bottle. Does it go in the direction of any iris fragrances one might know? Asking from a friend who is considering brine buying when it launches, says MJ. Welcome, MJ. I've got a bottle. Does it go in any sort of similar? So the bottles aren't going to run out. If you're unsure, get a sample. Is it similar to any iris fragrances? I'm not. Let me get up and I'll see, because I can answer that. Is it similar to any iris fragrances we know? Oh. Bellarm. I was telling Eugene he needs to register it with fucking Fragrantica, because I can't wear it until he does, because that's where I keep track of what I've been wearing. Out the box you come. Oh wait, I'm weak. So it's got this iris. Have you ever smelled Hermes? Have you ever smelled Hermes by Hermes? It's got this coolness to it, right? So I hope you can hear us, because I'm just shouting into the void if not, but it's not as powdery as Dior Homme, right? Hold on, I'm gonna spray some Dior on. These fucking Dior sprayers are fucking magnificent, like. So it's not as powdery as Dior Homme. It's not that kind of thing. It's more of a cool kind of iris. It's more of a fresh iris, but it's given this kind of. Fuck me, I've nearly used half the bottle giving people samples, man. It's given this kind of salty. I don't want to say groin, because it's not civety, it's not pissy, but it's got this kind of salty skin kind of vibe to it as well. And then it's got the chocolate, cocoa, and which gives it a, right, so bear with us. I know I said it wasn't powdery, and it's not powdery. The iris isn't powdery, but it's given a kind of cocoa powder, cocoa pod kind of chocolatey feel from the cocoa, and that gives it this kind of, you know, like a chocolate milkshake, you know. Me and Eugene were talking about it when he was talking about it. He was like, "Would you class it as a gourmand?" And I was like, "No." Straight away, instantly, no, it's not gourmand, but it has gourmand aspects, but it's not gourmand. And one of the gourmand aspects is this kind of cool, almost milky, but it's not. It's more creamy, but not creamy in a gourmand way. It's very fucking cleverly done. It's very, very cleverly done. The perfumer's brilliant. So I've said this before, Antoine Lee's probably the best active perfumer in the world today. Someone making perfumes as we speak and continuing to make perfumes as we speak. It's got this coolness, this cleanness, but it's also got this salty kind of note to it, like a salty skin. Have you ever been like, this is going to sound gross. You ever been like out, like in the sun, playing sports, I don't know, doing something, and you've tasted your own sweat? Or like, you know, salty tears, that kind of thing. And you can taste it. It's got that sort of salty aspect to it. But it's also got this fresh, cool kind of breeze thing. But then it's got this powdery aspect from the cocoa, which isn't, it's not like a powdery, the iris isn't powdery, but the chocolate is. Galen, you are a shit. Most of the A-mens are lackluster, says Pi, except the original and B-men. B-men's sneakily good. Mine's got loads of particulate matter in it. Loads of like white flakes, raging. Like, get out. Most people only started liking them till after Thierry died. Well, the fact that they've been discontinued won't help. Or will help, sorry. Product says, DJ, yeah, I don't understand why they sell for hundreds, just smell cheap, sweet, synthetic, and broish, because a lot of people started there and they've been taken away. And once when you discontinue, so it's supply and demand, you know, it's the simplest thing in the world. I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying it's just what happens. Pi says, yes, Rich, it was Noir Peace. It was actually crystals. But yes, that's right. Yes, of course. Especially once you hit age 30, what you're talking about your back again, John, yes. Mine wasn't even aged like 30. With ankylosing spondylitis, which is what's wrong with me and my spine, and my hip, and my leg. With that, right, it starts in your early 20s, but in this country and in a lot of countries, it doesn't get diagnosed on average for 8.5 years. And it took me 8 years from when I started going to see the doctor about my back being like completely fucking useless. Like I couldn't do anything. I was at a stage where I needed like fucking, this is when I started going to see them about it. I'd always had a bad back up to this point. But it was at the stage that it was in 2012, 2013. And it took me 8 years to get diagnosed with this fucking ankylosing spondylitis. Scandalous. I had fucking all sorts done because they didn't know what it was. And I remember in the early 20s, right, years before I was diagnosed, years before I even had like a debilitatingly bad back, I had this pain in my left testicle. Right, and after you get pain in your bollocks when you're in your early 20s. What can it possibly be? Right, people are going to laugh and say blue balls, but I was thinking cancer. Right, but testicular cancer doesn't hurt, apparently. So I'm going to the doctor and I'm like, look, I've got pain. Well, I didn't know this. I was like, look, I've got pain in my testicles. Like, am I dying? Like, what's going on? They sent us for a scan, and they were like, there's nothing wrong with you, you know. Stop fucking hassling with, you know. And I got this, went back and forth for years. What I realize now is that pain in my testicles was actually a referred pain from my hip. So whatever's been happening to us has been happening to us for like a long, long time, you know. And it became to the point after my 30s where it got to the point where I literally couldn't do anything. And they were like, fuck, like this bloke's like being crippled and is crippled like now and has been for a while. What the fuck? They sent us to a rheumatologist. Rheumatologist took one look at us, took a blood test and was like, yeah, you got ankylosing spondylitis. And I was like, you horrible people. But I'm glad. I say you horrible people. I'm not. I mean, it's just nobody wants to be given that diagnosis. I wish it was something else. But yes, I do appreciate what you're saying about hitting the age of 30. Like, everything starts getting wrong. I remember when I was 21, man, people were like, oh, it's all downhill from here. And I was like, fuck off. I'm going to live forever and I'm going to be fine. But that is not the way it happens. Welcome, Keith. DJ says, Brody, people like smelling like candies, I imagine, and diabetes. Or unless you mean candles. My brother from Tennessee is here, says Pie. The A-Mine line speaks to me, says Phil. I do like some of them. Melvin says, oh yes, I'd appreciate your take on Bell Arm, Rich. Jonathan says, just sprayed the Bell Arm. Glorious. Holy shit. Galen is here being a dick. God, I wish there was a good live stream on right now. Shalom, says Pie. DJ says, you think if Jean-Claude Arnault went back to Hermes, they would boot Nurgle out? Nurgle. Don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I think they've made their decision with her now and they're liable to stick with it. Like no other iris I've ever smelled. They got a paper vibe in the opening, very unique. That'll be cedar, I would imagine. Love me some of the powder, says Pie. Cool iris, cocoa powder, second skin. I'm very intrigued, says Melvin. JP Music, welcome. Yes, the bubbles are back. They just says Antoine Lee also has access to some unique materials and he also has good ethics. Product says salty like ambergris. Kind of not. More salty like skin. Like sweat on skin, you know, like salty tears, salty sweat. That. I don't mean like rancid sweat. I don't mean like armpit sweat. I mean like sweat from your brow, sweat on your top lip when you're working hard. I might think ambergris in this somewhere. Which fragrance are we talking about? Bell Arm, Eugene's new one. Is it long lasting? Says Proddy. Fuck knows. Yes. Thanks for your first impression, says MJ. Sounds great. Evening all. Sent the day was Creed's Royal Oud, says Jessut. Was in the office. Just didn't want anything too strong. Flakes in the juice. Outrageous, says John Smith. Massive, massive, massive. Massive flakes. Like a fucking snow globe, but bigger. Galen says, to me, Bell Arm is huge, not a skin scent at all. No, it's got a skin smell about it. I don't mean like it. That's not the performance. DJ says, you've been to the physio like you would not believe. I was at the physio for about 2 years, mate. The rheumatology physio. Scent of the day, La Barba de Tangier, says Shiva. Welcome, Shiva. Like, I know a lot will suggest back strengthening exercise to alleviate the pain. Yes, it definitely core work, any kind of movement, not just strengthening, but just movement, just move and work your back muscles. Definitely. Motion as lotion. Thanks, Rich, Jonathan, and Galen for the insights, says Professor Melvin. NHS doctors, yes. I'm getting DHI from your breakdown. No. The iris is very different to the Dior Homme iris. Galen, do you love Bell Arm, says Bry. Galen says, I have an announcement. Rich has not been diagnosed with sclerosing lipogranuloma. That is what you have been diagnosed with, you said last night. It is excellent, but I'm 1000% biased, says Galen. Phil says, I have an announcement. I have gingivitis. Galen, you made me Google, says Professor Melvin. I'm always looking for new wisdom and salting rich, says Galen. Hey there, Michael Harness. Safa, oh, lad, how you doing? Hope you are doing well. What's your opinion on Lush perfumes? Safa, I'm all right. How are you? My opinion on Lush perfumes, some of them are actually weirdly really, really good. And some of them are really not. I've got Breath of God, which is Very good. I've got Rentless, which I actually think is really good. And I've got another one which I can't remember, which can't be that good because it's completely slipped my mind. Give us a second. What are you called? You're over here. I never wear them though. Like I never reach for them. They're very essential. There's Breath of God. And what are you? I've got the Patchouli 421. I've got the Lord of Misrule as well. So I've got 4. For me, they're like room sprays, less so than perfumes. I think the lavender candle's actually really nice, but they want 12 quid for this tiny little thing. They're crazy. Which notes would you personally choose to express pain besides rose and patchouli, says JP. Pain. Vetiver. Metallic notes. Pain. What does pain smell like? Iron. Like blood. Smoke. Basically, it would smell like Tyrannosaurus Rex by zoologists, or a bull at London, you know. Hello, Drawn by Sense. Hello, Galen. Jonathan, yes, I'm sure it has its own DNA. Galen says, oh, Saturdays must Tonkin by Parfum d'Empire. I mean, real physio, not the NHS one, checking boxes. I've got to be honest with you, my fucking physio taught me how to walk again. I'm not saying I couldn't physically like stand and walk, but I was zigzagging. Like she taught us how to walk in a straight line again. Like I cannot knock out. Like she properly put us back together. Which was like a specific rheumatology one. I was throwing my left leg forward, literally, because that's what happens is with what I've got is it attacks the soft tissue around the bone. In ankylosing spondylitis, a lot of it's like a hip bones, and mine's like all in my left hip. So it attacks the soft tissue around the bones and it makes it inflame. When the inflammation goes down, that soft tissue calcifies and actually turns into bone. So you lose a lot of movement. All right. And when I was walking, I would put my right foot forward and then my left leg would literally swing out and I would like fucking imagine, right, having one leg considerably shorter or considerably longer than the other one, right? And if you can imagine then swimming like that. So you're going to go round in circles. That's how I was walking. I literally was walking in zigzags. She taught me how to walk in a straight line again. I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of shit in the NHS. The NHS isn't perfect. But she was great. Like, she was fucking great. Cecile, she was called. I will never forget her. She was fucking great with us. Plus, I couldn't afford to be going to I could afford to go to a physio, but I'd have to stop fucking buying fucking perfumes. It's one or the other, and here I am buying perfumes and not paying for physios. If only people knew how shit the NHS can be when it comes to certain things. It can be shit when it comes to certain things. You're right. It can be. I'm not going to sit here and say it and like defend it to the hilt like some people do. But also, I think I would rather have it than not have it. Does that make sense? Hello, beautiful people, says Fernando. Good news, there's a pill for everything, says Phil. I mean, fucking hell, the amount of tablets I'm on, Jesus. Check out Knees Over Toes guy on YouTube. He's a genius for athletic strengthening and joint strengthening. Wish I found him before I hurt my back. Wearing must Tonkin as well after a long hiatus, says Fernando. That will be coming up in my next... that'll be coming up in my next Parfum d'Empire video. Jonathan says, I have some of the fragrances released by the L'Atelier Français de Matière, the house that supplies Eugene's materials. Stunning, in my opinion. I got their I got their Grand Cru sample set, cost 180 quid. I am livid. Not with them, with myself for buying it. I would not buy that again. Silly. It was daft. I thought it was a good idea. I'm glad I've got it for reference, right? But not a good. I could have spent that 180 quid a lot better, I must be honest. Galen said, Breath of God is a masterpiece. Galen says a lot of things. Seppa says, ever tried Smell of Weather turning by Kush? It smells literally as it's named. Really interesting, and I do agree there are some hidden gems in Lush, but you also have to be really awful. There are some really awful ones. There are. It's exactly it. There are fun stuff, and there's some other stuff which is fucking rubbish. You know? Whenever I walk in there, I'm a big man and I look a certain way. Right? They don't know us like you know us. They don't know us as like the way I am. Funny, fun, weird, strange, like not threatening. But I look like I look the opposite of how I sound on stream, right? I look like I'm gonna walk into, like, especially Lush, because I don't know if you've ever been any Lush. I don't know if Lush in America is the same as it is over here, but they're all very neurotic. The sales staff over here, you know, they're all like wearing strange clothes. They've all got multitudes of piercings. They've all got they're all very neurotic, very anxious. And when I walk in, there's almost an audible gasp. And I get talking to them and they're fine and they realize and they settle down. So I don't really go in as much as I do. And I don't like to be as aggressive as I am when I go into, the other perfume stores where they give you the hard sale. Because to be fair to Lush, they don't give you the hard sale. When they do give you the hard sale, I don't know what the opposite of hard sale is. Hard pushback is what we'll call it. And I give that to the sales associates when they give it a bit too much. Lush perfumes are a blast. The only reason I'd ever go back to the mall is, Galen. But would they let you back? And Charlie says, hi, send the day must tonk, and that's 3 of you. Smells like poo in a jasmine bush during a hot summer afternoon, humid afternoon. Good Lord. I can only imagine how much iris is in the newest Les Abstraces pie. The first one was a boatload of iris. Probably, I don't know, but they have their own fragrance line also, which is what I have. DJ says, I remember having to drive my ass to hospital and A&E. Sorry, I'll start again. DJ says, I remember having to drive my ass to hospital A&E, waiting for an hour for an ambulance, then fainted once I was there. Ever since that day, I've had a chip on my shoulder. That will put a chip on your shoulder about it. I understand. Is Belle in the essence resembling Dear Man? Ooh, a strong presence and a closer scent radius. Oh, it pushes. You'll smell it. God, as a woman, I've seen her at altar, but the bottle is quite manly, says Phil. What's your thoughts on Lon Von My Sin, says Pie? I've never smelled it. Hola, Mitch. Hola, Joms. Send the day queer canage. I might wear that tomorrow. You've put that idea in my head now. Knees over toes. Check my thank you, Mr. Smith. Strangely, after all these years, my shoulder does not want to work anymore. Strange how that happens, isn't it? Etherealist says, I don't think so, but I'll go give Dear a try right now. Thanks, Gail, and let her brother know. And on that note, I'm going to the bathroom again. I'll be back. Oh. Woof. Once again, friends, I have returned. What would you do if I just didn't return one day? You'd be like, where the fuck is he? Diamonds forever. One moment. Okay, where am I? Your channel. Stream 87. It's actually Stream 86. I do beg your pardon. What's your thoughts on L'Envol My Since? I have not smelled it. I recently bought a bottle of Goddess by Lush. I cannot figure out how I feel about it. Gosh, he never takes us with him. Absolutely not. He could show us his shorter leg. What happened, says John. I just went to the other side. Rich is messaging me on WhatsApp right now. He says he needs at least 10 minutes. I'm not. That was the other night. Is he hydrating or pissing? Second. What drinks like a horse pisses like a horse, says Natalia. Galen gets premium access. JP says, I received a parcel from Rahul today, including many decant sample sets from Les Indomadables, L'Artisan Parfumier and Miskio, plus natural incense from Oman. Looking forward to getting my nose on all of it. That was nice of him. Waiting for some big orders, Mitch. Some big orders. What are you waiting for? Does the EU stockholder for Eugene do samples? Possibly, but I'll send you one if you want, DJ. I'll put my email. Are you in the UK? I think you are, aren't you? Right there. Send us an email, and I'll just send you one. You know, for now. Let us know when you've got that written down. What about Adam? Have you tried it, says Fernando. I have tried it. It is a lovely little yoke fragrance from the early 90s. Big tomato leaf. It's very nice. It is very nice. DJ, let us know when you've got that email address. I don't like leaving it up. Sorry for the late response. Glad to hear Adie's got back in touch. Emailed? I haven't received it yet, mate. Are you sure? It was 2 seconds. We'll have a look, shall we? I haven't received an email, mate. Yes, Adie's Divinustas did get in touch. And they were very nice, to be fair. Thank you, Fosco, though, for offering. Tried to proposition Fosco today to get him to sell us his vintage bottle of Iris Nazarena. I actually asked Iris Nazarena. I asked Adie's Divinustas. I said, do you have any old bottles? Because I would be very interested to buy one. And they were like, we haven't had any old bottles of those fragrances for years. And I was like, oh. And they were like, sorry about that. But they were like, look, the formula's the same. And I was like, well, if that's what you say, I believe you. But I've got a bottle of the vintage. Sound. There we go. Remove. Cheers, DJ. Just email us and I'll send you one out tomorrow. I'm sending a few people out some stuff tomorrow. Fan of Dame Shirley Bassey, Rich, says Prof. Melvin. I was singing Diamonds Are Forever, yes, because when I went out the room, I said, I saw, if I beg your pardon, that Vic from Bel Air Sense had uploaded one of the trailers to Diamonds Are Forever because he's a big fan of James Bond. Jesus Christ. So I started singing Diamonds Are Forever. Pie, stop wigging me out. That flick scares the piss out of me. Interlude kid, the old man. Yes, what would Damien from the old man wear? I wish some people take a leaf out of Japan's World Cup fan book in terms of morals and manners. They're always very well behaved when they travel. They're awesome. I saw that today. They were tidying up the stadium before they left. Made in France, but no way for me to sample, says Pradeep. Drink his blood. Why no talk of Cop a la Zoo? Stunner, says Tripler. Who's that by? Is that Parfum d'Empire? Because I probably haven't got to that one yet. JP says, was it a problem to send perfume out of the UK before Brexit happened? Yes, it wasn't allowed, but it could still be done. It could still be done. After Brexit, it can't be done anymore. It literally cannot happen. Can I have a moment? Max 40 wants a meeting on my turf. Who with? Cope Azure is wonderful tripler. I like the signature as well. Is that by we're just talking about them. Edis de Venustus. I've got it. I've got your email, DJ. It was a problem, but it wasn't impossible. It is impossible now. It is both a problem and impossible now. Are you ready for some football, says Phil? What about? Me too, but he would probably work Couche de Diable. You haven't gotten to the best of Parfum d'Empire yet. As in, what's a back to boo? The Cree and Must Tonkin, says Fosco. Pradeep says, all beauty scents for free, thank God. Had to use Apple Mail. Yahoo decided it was wrong. It is not wrong. It is my email address. Oh, hello, friends. Welcome. Diamonds are forever. Yes. What do you mean all beauty scents for free? Do they ship to France? I know they're based in Jersey, but their store is actually based in the UK. It's just they're registered in Jersey for tax reasons. The shithouses. Don Foscucci. Must Tonkin is alright, says Pie. Another version of a turned up Shalimar with some added notes. Oh, it doesn't sound like I'm going to like it then, because I can't stand Shalimar. I need to hydrate. Shalimar, says Fernando. Oh. Pardon me. I have gotten free delivery from All Beauty, shipped to France, 150 minimum, I think. They must have a license. You know? Or maybe they've got somewhere in France. I know Notino operates in France. You know? They operate throughout Europe, to be fair. Oh dear. It looks like we are going to be... We are going to be going until 10 o'clock my time, which will be another 25 minutes. And I thought I was only going to be able to fit an hour in. Have $2,000 worth of stuff on the way from all over. Only somewhat worried about one. Which one you worried about? Bob says to Pie, who keeps telling you to get a haircut and brush your teeth? You look fine. AW says, what is your Thanksgiving scent, Rich? What day is Thanksgiving? Is it today? Because today I am wearing Calvin by Calvin. No, DG, you'll be fine if it's coming from Canada, mate. I replied to your email, by the way. Never dealt with Canada Post. Nah, they're fine. Dealt with them loads of times. They're fine. Inshallah, after this year, the spend gets cut down. It's not easy when you're selling loads of fucking... When you're buying loads of fucking perfume. Like, it's not easy to cut down. But it can be done. Shalamar says Shalamar. No, JP Music says Shalamar Vanilla. What did you get, DJ? Everybody wants to know now. Pie says, lol, I do need a haircut. And when I went out of town, I forgot my toothbrush and wasn't able to get another. I was gone for only one day, but still kills me. It's not good when you get your fucking routine upset, is it? You know what I mean? Have you tried the fresh Amen, the mint, the orange, the ice? Well, I've tried the mint and the orange. I've got Ultra Zest. I had Krypton Mint, but I got rid of it because I didn't like it. And I've never smelled the ice one. Thursday, says AW. So tomorrow, I don't know what my scent of the day will be until I wake up and have a look. Calvin by Calvin just grabbed us today. It just grabbed us. I decided I was going to wear Vanille Havana, but I thought, screw it, I'm going to go with... Calvin. John Smith says, I'll be wearing Overture Man on Thanksgiving. Just one spray, though. AW is going to go with Tobacco Vanille. Tripler says, my link dropped. Copal Azur is a douche for it is de Venustus. Got the old bottle, not sure about the new one. Well, I'm getting... I'll tell you what. $5 for a 0.7ml sample is not great. I'm not going to lie. But at least I'll get to try them. I've got the incense series from Comme des Garçons, and I got their samples from Lucky Scent. And Lucky Scent can go and fuck themselves as well because they do 0.7ml. What the fuck is a 0.7ml sample? What am I supposed to do with that? Especially when you're charging $4 and $5. Behave. But I appreciated the 80s de Venustus bloke getting back in touch with us and letting us know. But $5 for a fucking 0.7ml, goodness me. Behave thyself. Thanksgiving is vanilla time, says Bob. Thinking of wearing Amber Sultan for Thanksgiving. Looks like you two are in agreement. DJ says top secret, and even if I said, people wouldn't know what half of them are. Lucky Scent is evil, sometimes to use for certain brands to sample. Hit the like button, says Phil Stevens. Yes, if you would like to hit the like button, please do. John Smith says, I love Calvin. Calvin smells so good off my skin. My friend was loving it off me today. It's very nice, very musky. It's very 1981. 1981 may have been the best ever year for perfume releases. You know how Ramsey did that series where it was like this year in perfume? Like, I've thought about doing that before. I remember when I was trying to convince him to start his channel, I was hassling him. And we were talking about ideas of what to put out and what to say, because it can be daunting when you start. You don't know what you're going to do. And I was like, I'm not taking credit for it, but it came up in the conversation. And we were like, we could do like all the perfumes that were released in a certain year. And at that point, I hadn't quite grasped, I should say, the sheer breadth of his collection. It's massive and it's mint. He's got perfumes from each of those years. And he was like, yes. And then 1981 is just an absolutely outrageous year. I've thought about doing it myself. Just to point out how good of a year it was. Considering some of the perfumes that are still around now. Tomorrow is Bellarm launch day, so it only seems right to wear that, says Galen. Lucky scent is an evil sometimes to use for certain brands to sample. The hardest part about growing up is that the holidays don't feel like the holidays anymore, says Pie. That's a good point. Well, that's just part of growing up. Other things get better. I used to be fucking scared of getting older when I was younger, and now that I'm older, I wouldn't like to be young again. Fucking hell. I wouldn't like to have to learn the lessons that I've had to learn in my life again. You know? I'm very grateful to be where I am. 0.7 mil of Iris Nazarena. Nazarena? 81 for the win, says John Smith. Born in 83, so the 80 speaks to me. I was born in 85, the end of 85. Tripler says Thanksgiving will be vintage heritage based on. Phil says, is 0.7 mil, is it a 2 mil bottle or do they make them smaller than that? I think they put them in these little fucking tiny little sample dabber vials. And they're fucking rotten. I've got a previous presentation sample of Iris Nazarena. And I've got the current one on the way. We will see if it is the same formula. If it is the same, I'd buy a bottle. It's lovely. AW says 85 over here too. Clearly it was a great year. I think Ramsey was born in 85 as well. Phil says shite. Bob says, Pie, brush your teeth and get down the honky-tonk with your girl. Make some turkey sandwiches. Grim. I don't like turkey. It's fucking dry as all fuck. I don't like turkey for Christmas dinner either. It's so dry. That's why you've got to like lather it with like fucking all that other shit. You know? I'd rather have chicken. Ramsey and Rich the same age as me little bro, says John Smythe. Yes, today is a sacrificial turkey day. Does that mean somebody's going to be pardoning a turkey? The president's going to be pardoning a turkey? I always thought that was quite funny. I never cared which president did it. I just thought it was funny that they would pardon the turkey. I remember Donald Trump pardoned the turkey one day and he was talking to it. And it was extremely funny. Well, I'll definitely get down to the pub and have a Reuben, man. I'm a classic Southern boy. Santos, Koros, and Antaeus are from 1981, says Enrique. Yes, so is Calvin by Calvin. 4 video I could do with. So is Oscar Paula-Wee. No, Biden will be sniffing a turkey. He's going to be smelling a turkey. Yikes. We are on our peak year, says Adam. Yes, I feel like I'm in my prime year. Trump's turkey now being subpoenaed, says Tripler. Being impeached. Do you like Oscar Paula-Wee? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's just a show of power, says Phil. What's that Pantera album called? A Vulgar Display of Power? It's a fucking great name for a metal album, that. A vulgar display of power. Get in. I was born in 1981, 40, eh? Oh, you, Fernando? How does it feel? We're all vintage nowadays. No, you're right. It's strange when it happens to you, isn't it? I think I prefer to wear Santos, although Antaeus is my favourite, says American Pie. I love Antaeus. I fucking love it. Horrid getting old, I mean, says Fernando. It is. It's fucking... It's a shame. But that's life. Heavy metal dude, says Phil. There is no better name for an album than A Vulgar Display of Power. Yeah, send address and I'll send them out as soon as possible. Ooh. Not so bad, but we're allowed some drama, says Fernando. Also from 1981 is Casserole Pour Lawn. Do you have it? I do. John Smith says, been trying to score an 80s Antaeus Sport, but can't find one. I've got a couple of those. Ramsey's got loads of them because he fucking loves it. Vintage Santos is heavy metal. Antaeus Sport is virtually impossible to find. I've got a couple. Anuj had it. It's so rare that it's not even on for a grand again. It was only out for a year. So all the bottles are from like 1985, 1986. Bob says you hate pumpkin pie too. Yes, absolutely. That's just nothing sounds quite as grim as that. And those don't have any more. I know I checked, says John. Yes, it's because me and Ramsey took I think all of them. It's just a slightly thinner version of Antaeus. It's beautiful though. Fave pie? Ooh. Corned beef pie is nice if it's done properly. But if you're talking like fruit pie, it's probably blackberry and apple. Everyone's favourite pie is American Pie, says American Pie. Cool Whip was made for pumpkin pie. There's a Sport Mini on the eBay right now. That'd be cool. Everyone's favourite pie is American Pie. I thought I'd read that twice. Still haven't decanted out my Antaeus into a sprayer. It's still nice, but the top notes are inevitably slightly faded. Peach cobbler is pretty incredible, says Fosco. I'm not into peach. Don't like peaches. How does Koros compare the sport version to you? Koros, what do you mean? How does Koros compare to the sport version of Antaeus or the sport version of Koros? Pecan pie, says AW. I've peeked on a few pies. Hydrate, says Peter. Regular version to the sport version of Antaeus. John. You said, how does the Koros compare to the sport version? Are you asking us to compare Koros to Koros Sport or Koros to Antaeus Sport? No, Koros Sport. So, it's just, imagine the base is slightly less dense. It's still got the pissy vibe, be left in no doubt. It's stronger than the modern version of Antaeus. It's just that fucking rich, thick, dense, heavy bass isn't quite as rich, thick, dense, and heavy. The piss is still there. The soapiness is still there. It's just a little bit breezier, you know. DJ says I have and chorus Frasier, so do I. Frasier is chorus through and through, but at the beach. Yes, it is. It's got this fucking bonkers pineapple note, which just has no right to be there and no right to work, but kind of does. It's very strange. It's like, what are you doing here and why are you here? But welcome, please come in. Do you like cherry pie? No, I don't like cherries either. Although cherry pie's all right, but I'm not a big fan of cherries. Corned beef pie, and you give perfume advice, cherry pie. I have chorus Frasier, nothing fresh about it to me, says Fosco. It's a tough sell, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's a fucking... Well, I'm probably going to end up selling a couple of those Frasier bottles as well. I've got a bottle of Koros Eau de Sport, the 1980 something version made by Charles of the Ritz. Or 160 quid for it. I'd sell it cheaper on here, but it's a splish. It's a splish splash. It's in a fucking plastic bottle, man. What? What are you doing in a plastic bottle, you fucking mad shit? Crazy. I've also got a Santos Sport, which is also in a plastic bottle. What's going on there? Shaky pudding, says Phil. That sounds like something old people do to each other. Tart Frangipan for the win. I think I managed to get almost every version of Chorus except Eau de Sport and the 2005 summer one. Says Fernando, if you were in the UK, I'd sell you my Eau de Sport. Meant to be chucked into gym bags, says Manly Sense. That's exactly what it is. Absolutely nailed it. Strangely, most all the colourful plumeria here are odourless except for the white with yellow centre. Bob, I barely understood a single syllable of that, mate. I could barely say it, never mind understand it. Enrique Vasquez, for Thanksgiving, I love to eat cornbread and green bean casserole. Prof Melvin says, I love pecan pie, even though I'm allergic to pecans. I pick out the pecans and eat the pie crust and molasses filling. Good Lord. I think I managed to get almost... I'm going to be going in 5 minutes, friends. I won't lie to you. I'm a tired little man. A tired little duck. Anybody own Queer de Russie Night Vision? Surely that's a joke. How manly were men doing manly things with Antaeus Sport? They were pretty fucking manly, mate. They were manly playing sports. But I just got here, says Galen. Good. Then you'll be disappointed. Possibly even cry. And my existence will have been worthwhile. To be honest, for the past couple of Thanksgiving, my family and I have just been grilling steaks. Grilling steaks in the end of November. How hot must it be where you live? Go rest your weary bones. May have been in bed this entire time. They are weary, though. Be left in no doubt, mate. They're still weary. It doesn't matter what I do or don't do. They'll always be weary. That's what I keep saying to people. They're like, oh, don't you do this, don't you do that, because, like, you know, fucking, you know, you don't have to do that because you're sore, or you don't have to do that because you're back and stuff like that. And I'm like, mate, me back and me fucking, I'm going to be sore anyway, so I might as well fucking do it, you know? Jesus. No, you don't have to go down to the shop. I'll go to the shop, because if I don't, I'll just sit here and fucking take root and vegetate. We can't have that. I'm a duck, not a vegetable. I need to spread me wings. Do the British have Black Friday? Yes, but only recently. Definitely an American holiday. You know? American Pie says, in the movie Commando, outrageous. I remember Commando was fucking class. They took the idea from Chanel about Arnold carrying the log in the beginning, when in the Antares commercial, the dude was carrying the bottle. Yes. Yes. Have you seen the Eggo East advert? Where the girls are just shouting, Eggo East! Eggo East! White cake. Time to go see what colour combinations the skies have to offer this evening, says Phil. Well, around here, it is simply black, because it's dark and has been for about 5 hours now. Well, 6 hours now. Sunsets at 4 o'clock around here these days. It's going to creep into fucking 3 o'clocks in the next couple of days or so. It gets short. Each day gets shorter by about 2 or 3 minutes every day. It'll be the fucking solstice. What's the date? It'll be the solstice in about 4 weeks. And it'll start getting lighter again. What? Crazy. Crazy. Pie is American as it can get. So is barbecue. Barbecue's Australian. That's epic, says John Smith. It certainly is. It's dark. You say it's epic, mate. It's dark. You know? The sun is setting here as well. The sun has set here. It's not setting by any stretch of the imagination. We'll give it another 5 minutes. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Hot dogs are fucking vile. Dear Barbara, but I fucking do love a good hot dog, though. Ah, you were referring to the Arnold commercial. All right. And alligators in the yard. Screw that. You can keep your fucking alligators. I'll live where it's cold. Keep them bastards away from us. Fucking straight up killers. Fucking poke them in the eye. Put an elastic band around their mouth. Shithouses. Dark skies can be epic, I guess. Depends if there's any bad weather. Ambra Suprema Ronsons Mythique. Oh, fucking goodness me. Enrique says, Ambra Supreme or Encens Mythique? Which has the better ambergris? No. Ambra Supreme. Encens Mythique is a... Is Encens Mythique a better perfume? Possibly. And yes, it is roughly around 1 to 2 degrees Celsius. We just stand outside in the cold with jackets on. Eugene's released a video about Balenciaga, a most vintage guy in the fragrance world. I hope he's talking about me. Ambra Supreme. Antique, even though I prefer Encens Mythique. And Ambra Eternal. Ambra Eternal shit, as Galen knows. Hot dogs coming out in the Tobing. Ooh. Now I'm hungry. See you later, Fosco. Cheers, mate. Hot dogs are vile, says the guy who loves corned beef pie. I don't necessarily love it. I'll eat it. I'm not proud of it. Fernando says, Diaghilev or Chypre Palatana is the ultimate Baroque Chypre, as someone asked on base notes. It's a hell of a fucking Whichever one isn't by Roger. Sorry, Roger. But you nicked it off someone else, as you well know. Chypropolitan, says American Pie. The state of Maine excels in pie. Deja says, I only have one Balenciaga La Fruit du Jour, aka Fleeting Moment in Parfum. I nearly managed to get a bottle of that quadrille, but then the guy sold it from he promised it to me and sold it to someone else. Shithouse. And it was a fucking old bottle as well. It wasn't a young bottle. Beg your pardon. It's getting to that time, friends. Rich, rank all your surges from sweetest to non-sweet. No. Ho Hang is so underrated from Balenciaga. I have a 7ml splash of it. Ho Hang Club is better. Ho Hang Club is that dark rose. Imagine a really dark red rose to the point where it's almost black. You've got to shine a white light on it to see that it's actually red. Just in normal light, it looks black. Ho Hang Club is immense. It's got a slightly pissy vibe as well. Brilliant fragrance, it really is. And so, on that note, friends, I have hit my limit. I have gone too far. Or far enough. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Thank you for liking the stream. Thank you for commenting on the stream. I appreciate it greatly. I will see you all again soon. I'll probably do that Parfum d'Empire video tomorrow. But anyway, we'll see. Thanks very much. Good night, everyone.